I'm Steven Sandison. I farm here at Melbourne Farm in partnership with my wife Lorraine in the parish of Harry in the Orkney Islands. We farm 330 acres. We have 100 cemental and solar cross cows. We run 2 solar bulls and 2 cemental bulls and a criss-crossing system. The bulls run with the cows for 10 weeks and they're all spring calving. We calve for heavers at 2-year-old and we sell the calves in October straight off their mothers. 3 years ago we were fortunate enough to become Orkney's first monitor farm. The project was run by NFU Scotland and supported by Quality Meat Scotland. I think what made me interested in the monitor farm programme was we were still a relatively new business, and the business we had gotten our numbers of cows up to a level that we could then start recording and monitoring what we were doing. Ultimately what I hoped to achieve for the programme was either to cut costs or increase production, and in an ideal world a bit of both. We had about 5 to 6 meetings a year over the 3 years, and the meetings varied for about 20 to 70 farmers, with an average of about 40. I think at the very first meeting it surprised me the variation in the opinions of the farmers. For I had a problem with cows being too thin. Some guys thought they were too thin, other guys didn't see what the fuss was about. So it was the variation in the opinions of the guys that came along. It's been very interesting. Obviously you can't do everything that gets suggested, it's not possible, but some of the suggestions that have been made have been changes that I've made then to the farm which have made a real difference to the farm's performance. Over the last 3 years we've made a good few changes. We've changed the variety of barley we grow, we've stopped creep feeding the calves, we've applied a lot of sand on the grassland to improve the pH of the soil. We also diagnosed a cobalt deficiency problem among young heavers, and as a result of that we now bolus them at a younger age and have seen real benefits for that in their health and actually reduced their supplement feeding in the winter time. One of the main changes has been moving all to cemental and solar bulls. That was something I'd thought on for a few years before but didn't have the confidence to do, but it was suggested at the first meeting and we went ahead and did it, and there's real demand for the breeding heavers. We also measure the kilos of beef that leave the farm every year now and set that against the variable costs to measure how the farm's performing year on year, and that's very beneficial to see where we can make savings. I think one of the biggest changes has been reducing the cow numbers. For back in 2012 the calves were the lightest they'd been for years, so we reduced the cow numbers by 10, and thankfully we've seen the weight of the calves increase while being able to reduce costs for having less cows. I'm very glad I'm doing the whole monitor farm experience. When you've got a group of farmers turning up to analyse your business, it certainly makes you focus on what you're doing. I've also met lots of folk I wouldn't have met otherwise, and better still, I've gotten to know a lot of guys here in Orkney an awful lot better as a result of that. Although the programme's finished, there's things that I've learnt over the last 3 years that I still hope to be able to put into place. I have learnt that you can never stop improving.